Hello everyone, so there's been a few changes on the PTR recently, and there's enough for me to talk through now on the video, so let's go through them. So on Friday last week, you might have seen this warrior class tuning for January 24th. They buffed quite a few abilities by a decent amount, but 2 hours later they were reverted, and there's been a lot of memes around this, and people were dooming and panicking about it, but I knew that most likely they were just gonna bring them back with this week's PTR build. So that's exactly what they did. So they are now on the PTR, and I'm going to be testing them soon. But these are quite considerable damage buffs. So Arms is getting a massive 20% Immortal Strike, Overpower, and Dreadnought buff here. Cleave increased by 10%, Execute increased by 10%, Slam damage as well, which is fine. Colossus Smash and Warbreaker have new visuals. I do have a tab up here as well. I'll show that in a bit. And they also changed the Warbreaker's area of effect. The center point, it's 1 yard in front of the warrior. So instead of this being the center point, I guess it's going to be around here. Whatever, I guess. For Fury, they buffed Rampage by 20%, Raging Blow 20%, Crushing Blow as well, and Bloodthirst and Bloodbath by 20% as well. So those are our 3 main abilities. I know these are 5 abilities, but Raging Blow, Crushing Blow, and Bloodthirst, Bloodbath, same button. And also they buffed Odin's Fury by 15%. This Odin's Fury buff, I feel like this is nowhere near enough to make up for the fact that they killed off Titan's Torment. They reworked it so that it now just reduces Rampage's cost by 20 while Avatar is active, and Bloodthirst's cooldown is also reduced by 1.5 seconds. It's just way too weak of an effect for it to be ever used, and Rampage's discounts just isn't very appealing at all, because a lot of the time we just willingly overcap on Rage anyway, so it's just like, I think they need to reiterate on this one. Yes, they've now changed it away from Odin's Fury, which is probably good because we dealt too much burst with Titan's Torment in the raid, and that's probably what led us to getting nerfed so much in Season 1. But yeah, Odin's Fury damage increased by 15% is just not enough to compensate for the loss of the old Titan's Torment. And even with the old Titan's Torment, we don't always play it in M+ with Thane, because the non-Odin's Fury builds are often better because he got nerfed so much. So the 15% here, I think it's quite a bit off. It needs more. I think a good place to look is this here, the capstone. They can increase Odin's Fury damage further with these capstones here. If they are concerned about burst damage, they can probably just make the Odin's Fury dot longer and make it deal more total damage, but the trade-off is that the dot is longer, so the damage is spread over a longer period in time instead. But anyway, yeah, I can't see us playing Odin's really, except for important burst phases in raid again, if there are any. Yeah. They also did something to prots. I did talk about this in the previous video. Their goal with prot basically is to slow it down and for it to still perform the same. They just think the APM is too high. I think that's pretty sad, because I think the high APM of prot is one of the things that really makes it fun to play. But I guess a lot of people struggle with playing with prot because it's tough on their fingers and wrists, and maybe it's just hard to keep up as well with the APM requirement of the spec. So I think they're nearly there now with the constant buffs that they've been applying to prot after they slowed it down. But yeah, I'm still sad about the fact that they did slow it down. Also, they did buff Execute for Arms and prots, but they didn't touch Fury, which I think is really weird, because as Thane Fury, for example, you pretty much never press Execute. You will press Execute if you literally have nothing else to press in Execute phase. Even a Raging Blow is higher priority than Execute, and that seems very wrong to me. So yeah, I hope they do something to Fury's actual Execute ability, because it's definitely nowhere near where it used to be, and I feel like it should be worth pressing even without Slayer, imminent demise, sudden death, mark for execution kind of stuff. But yes, anyway, these buffs are really big. Obviously, they are the main abilities for both specs. I don't know what the numbers are exactly, but I'm guessing probably near around around 10% overall damage, because yes, these are our main abilities, but we have a lot of smaller things as well that contribute to our damage. I haven't done the math. I haven't checked the sims or compared the sims, but that sounds like a good ballpark, and that's pretty good. I do think Fury is still gonna struggle when it comes to the bigger pulls, because, well, all of these things will only hit a maximum of 5 targets, and we are still target capped from all of the nerfs that we received in the Rubar Palace. Arms probably has more hope when it comes to M+, because they have more... Arms has more uncapped AoE, and should also have more promising single target damage as well with these buffs. I think it'll still be behind Fury on single target, by the way. And also, while we are here, you have probably heard about the new Reckless Abandon. It just transforms your Bloodthirst and Raging Blows to Crushing Blow and Bloodbath now, while Recklessness is active and not just once per rampage. And Bloodbath is now a dot, right? And the dot gets a really long numbers. So I'll just show you here. So if I use Bloodbath a bunch here, the duration will keep increasing. It's now 28 seconds on my main target. Well, on all targets actually, because I'm cleaving all of them. And now Recklessness is over. Now look, the Bloodbath is at 35 seconds now. That could be problematic a little bit, I guess. It could be a little bit annoying, because, for example, let's say you send your cooldowns just before a boss faces, and then the boss is immune to that damage, or the rest of the dot is wasted. That feels bad, but I don't know what they should do to really resolve this, or if it actually is that big of a problem. But I would probably just prefer for it to be similar to Ignite, honestly, where the duration is a maximum of 6 and the dot damage just keeps getting added on. Keeps rolling, like Ignite does. Let's see how much the dot damage did there. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, the dot is pretty big. Pretty strong, especially when you're cleaving it like that. And a lot of people ask me about my opinion about this change to Reckless Abandon. I think this version is better in the sense that Recklessness feels like a proper cooldown when you have this talented. Because Recklessness baseline doesn't feel like much of a cooldown. So in that sense, I like it. But I also kind of like the old version. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this, but I think I will probably prefer this new one to the old one. I do think that anger management is still not desired enough. I don't think there's enough reasons to pick anger management, which I'm kind of sad about, because I like playing this in Mythic Plus. I like the CDR gameplay there. I don't know what they need to do in order to make anger management better. I think more CDR probably isn't the way. Yeah, last time they buffed anger management was by increasing the damage of Bloodthirst and Raging Blow, but not Crushing Blow and Bloodbath. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So the new Arms Warrior animations that I talked about earlier. Right. So Colossus Smash. I think this one is okay. I've watched this one a few times. I do think it's a little bit weird. You know, the slam is the same. You know, the swing is still the same as before. The icon up here has changed. That's like the armor breaking or something. But then for some reason, some weapons spawn and swing outwards, away from the target. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I guess it's kind of cool. I'm alright with it. But yeah, the weapons don't make sense to me. I think Warbreaker is... Well, just watch it. Watch that again. So it's like a whirlwind ability now. A whirlwind animation, armor breaks, and then all those weapons spawn from every single target that you hit. I don't know. I like the old thing where you literally just jump and slam the ground with a nice sound effect, you know? I don't know what this new one is. I can't show you the old one now because I'm on the PTR, but I like the old jump slam. That makes a lot more sense because in Legion we had a ground slam with like spikes coming out of the ground. That was great. After Legion, they changed it to, you know, a sort of a jump slam with a similar sound effect. This one though, it just doesn't have the same oomph to me, right? The sound is still there, I guess, but it's... I don't know. Where are these weapons coming from, dude? I don't get it. Anyway, I also have this clip from Gregor Ronson. He tried it on lots and lots of targets, and you can see the FPS counter here. It actually made his FPS drop when he used it. Have a look. See that again. Obviously, you're never gonna have this many targets, but it does look kind of silly, I think. I prefer the old version Blizzard. But let me know what you think in the comments. Is the new one good? Or do you prefer the old one? And lastly, I've got some sims here. So credits to Sari and Crispy, I think, who did these sims. I think Crispy did this one, Sari did this one. Sari did a Fury sim with Reckless Abandon. It was this build here for single target that he used. And the opener is weird. You do use your cooldowns straight away into a Rampage, into a Bladestorm. After the Bladestorm, you use the Spear and then do normal rotation. I'm guessing this is something to do with stacking up Overwhelmed first or something like that. And then you go ahead and send the rest of your cooldowns. Sounds weird. It's probably just a very minor increase compared to doing it the old way. It's weird though, because Bladestorm itself does a lot of damage, and the Bloodbaths also would deal a lot of damage inside of that Spear window. But if he found that that sim's best, then, well, we can't really argue with that, can we? We might find a lot of situations where we press Bloodbath, Crushing Blow multiple times. You know, all these abilities here, we're definitely hard overcapping before this next Rampage. Look at this. Rampage, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 abilities in between. Oh, sorry, 7 abilities in between the next Rampage. That's a lot of overcap. So, yeah, this Reckless Abandon does have flaws, and I wish we were more incentivized to press Rampage, you know, when we're high on rage. But yeah, this is where we are. For Slayer arms, I don't actually have the what's it called, sample ability log here, but you can see that Colossus is very far behind on single target. The number though is very similar to Fury, so at the very least both specs are pretty close on pure single target, so that's nice. So yeah, I think that's all I've got today to talk about. Hope you liked the video. I did have some M+ videos that I want to upload today, but I've replaced it with this video instead. I want to record some new footage now with the new buffs so that you can see how we perform on the PTR. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I shall see you again next time.